Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca and it is time today to work on my Mahusive project, and in this case it is walking in the rain. So I've pulled off a section that is about a cover paper size, which is what we'll work on today. So let me zoom in because I think I'm going to need to scoot it up a bit. Yes, I am. There we go. Let's scoot that up so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I have pulled out my first tray of colours and I'm going to start with the one again that has the coloured symbols first. So in this case it is the red, of which I have a lot in this section. I do have a new glue dot in this pen. So just in case you wonder why I keep messing with the pen, it's because it's super sticky to start off with and I need to make sure that I've got it all primed. But I hope everybody is having a fantastic week. Thank you so much to all of you for the birthday wishes on the Facebook group. I had a lovely weekend. It's so weird because my birthday was on Saturday, but because I've changed the order in which I film things, because I'm now filming through the week, I wasn't able to comment on it on Sunday's WIP and Waffle. And I didn't want to sort of bring it up as a thing. I wondered if people would remember, to be honest. I was kind of hoping that my birthday would just slide by to a certain extent. But anyway, no, I had a really, really good day. My children, or my kids, they actually bought me a series of quilting lessons. So I did mention to them, and me and Caris went sort of looking for something that may work. I did briefly remember somebody who did something along the lines of quilting, and I'm very happy to say she still does it. It's about 40 minutes away from my house, but she's going to do sort of a set of beginner lessons and go through all the different things for quilting. So maybe eventually I will have a quilt. Whether it will then carry on or not, we shall see. But actually, Caris has also decided she'd like to do it with me, so that's pretty cool. I will have some company when I do a quilt. So yeah, I got that. I did also go out shopping on the day and got quite a few different clothes. Went shopping with the girls. Went out with hubby for lunch and got some plants for our little planters to stop Luna escaping and going up to the back fence. So we've sort of blocked off the back fence. She would go round the building in our garden and bark at the neighbours if they dared to go outside in their own garden. So yeah, we got some plants for our planters to block that off. And I do also have the promise of the Lego set that's a picture of like the Milky Way. I think it's the Milky Way it's called. It doesn't actually go on pre-order for a couple of weeks. So I've sort of got the promise of that because that's one that I would really like to have and to do. I like most of the Lego art ones, not all of them, but I actually really enjoyed doing the Great Wave one a lot more than I thought I would. It was sort of more of a surprise Christmas gift. It's a Lego set I didn't know about, didn't necessarily have on my list, and I love doing it. So yeah, so all in all, had a really good day / weekend. Got a few bits done around the house, a few plans for other things that we're going to get done. And yeah, all in all, really good. So I hope you too all have had an amazing weekend and indeed week so far. I am actually filming this a couple of days before it goes up. It gives me a chance to edit it and things. Well, not so much, not a huge amount of editing, but gives me a chance to get the video all sorted, edited, uploaded and all the rest of it without having to worry about YouTube going on a go slow. But on the Thursday that this is due to go up, we're actually supposed to have 21 degrees weather. Oh my goodness me. It's absolutely shocking. It's supposed to be quite warm today, though we do have quite a bit of a wind. But I do have my washing on to try and, yeah, get all my washing dry outside this week. I think it's supposed to rain Friday, I think. Though, of course, that could change. I will check it each day. Today it's supposed to be windy but not raining. So I'm going to try and get a couple of loads done and out on the line and dry and put away. And we will see how we go. But yeah, here's to springtime finally arriving in the UK. Would be right. Oh, that's it's a concave diamond. No wonder it didn't want to stick. Yeah, so here's to spring weather coming in the UK, because that would be awesome. I managed to pick up 2 because I have a fresh glue dot and then completely mucked it up anyway. And then picked up 2 more. Let's see if I can get those kind of straight again. So yeah, comments, questions, etc. on posts. Oh, just try and reshuffle my computer so I can see the screen a little bit easier. But Alina Gordon says, thank you, Rebecca, for your content. You're so welcome. She says she is about to take a 15-hour flight from Japan to the US, so she is taking me with her. She has just downloaded hours and hours of my content. She said, especially since she found I was working on Walking in the Rain. She said she went back through years of my contribution and she will be watching my tips and tricks as well. She says she cannot wait. She says, thank you for everything that you do. Amazing. I've been on a flight from Japan to the US. I love it. What a great way to sort of pass the time. And of course, depending on your flight, you don't always get in-flight entertainment. Quite often, of course, when I do fly, it often tends to be to the likes of Australia on a long haul flight. So I do get in-flight entertainment. But yeah, it's good to know that you are able to create your own content so that you can keep yourself entertained during the long flight. I'm sure you will have arrived there safely by now. Dawn said it was nice to meet me. Thank you, Dawn. Nice for you to be here and join us for one of my many WIP and waffles. A couple, of course, through each week. Looking at Walking in the Rain now. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this finished before the June waffle. If I'm sort of being realistic, I am getting there with my aura lower, so there is a chance that I will have a little bit of time working on this one in the background too, which may speed things up a little bit, but it may not happen. But you know what? That's okay. The idea of this big project is not to be finished by a certain time. And while it would have been, you know, a nice sort of schedule thing, I suppose, to have finished one before June waffle and then start the other, it's just not happening in this instance, and that is a-okay. We will get through this one, and I do really need to get myself in gear and put it on my list. Actually, that's what I need to do. Put it on my list to get ready and look at ordering the diamonds and stuff I need for my Heaven and Earth design and the canvases, which will be my next Thursday project. I need to get myself geared up for that so that I'm prepared, so that when this one's finished I can move on to that one. But yeah, I like my little sort of ongoing bigger projects in with my smaller ones. Cat Lady, she says she quick washes 60 minutes at 40 degrees for clothes, 50 or 60 once every couple of weeks with towels, but still a quick wash. She said her machine spins at 16,000 on a 60-minute quick wash, and at 90 minutes for 900 speed for the 30-minute wash. She said she too gives everything a second spin. She said especially if it's going in the tumble dryer. See, we only have one quick wash on ours. For some reason it's about 45 minutes for the quick wash, and it will only do temperature up to 40. So anything we want to put on a higher temperature has to go on a longer wash, and it will only do, I think it's a 120 spin speed. But the washing machine will do up to 160, so that's when we put it on the second spin at 160. She says the weather today started at 6 degrees, that's Celsius. She said it was dry but dark. It hailstoned 3 times before lunch. This is sounding like the British weather. She said by 2 p.m. they had sunshine, 12 degrees, and it's still sunny. She says yes, they are talking at it being about 15 over the weekend. Yeah, we had a bit of a drier weekend, I will say. Yeah, it was mainly drier this weekend, though I think we had the wind factor that made it feel colder than it had earlier in the week. But I see a day in my weather app calendar that is showing over 20 degrees. Now, whether it will feel like that with the wind, but I reckon it will feel a lot warmer than it has. So I thought I'm going to start keeping an eye on it. I actually got to the bottom of my washing baskets the other day, woohoo, which seems very rare for me to get completely to the bottom without there being something floating in one of them, because there's 3 in our house. And yeah, I finally got to the bottom last Thursday, I think. I'm filming this on a Tuesday, but because it was my birthday weekend, I did 0 washing over the weekend. So I now probably have about 5 loads to do. Because we have at least a load a day in our house, sometimes a bit more depending on when bedding's changed. So yeah, I'm going to try doing a couple of loads a day and getting it dry on the line, but if it starts to get too much, then I may have to put clothes on the maiden again, which I'm kind of trying to avoid because I prefer them down. Diamond Art with Dynamite David said, hi Rebecca, thank you for all that you do for us in this community. You're so welcome. Really love watching my WIP and Waffles while doing their own WIP, which is currently Diamond Art Club Cosmic Trip. Love that painting. They placed an order over the weekend and it's arrived today, the 25th. And they can't wait to use the new zesty trays, and they've got the advent calendar finally, so they're going to be working on that later, so it's ready for this year's Christmas. Amazing. Christmas in well, May at the moment. I'm all for Christmas in May / June / July. You know, there's always elements of it, as long as it's not too much. I'm not ready for playing Christmas music yet. Mysterious Days says, what is the maiden when it comes to washing clothes? It seems different to a clothesline, but how so? So a maiden can also be called like a clothes horse, or maybe an airer. I think it's called an airer in other countries too. And it is like a concertina style clothes drying rack is probably the best way to describe it. But it's used inside, whereas a clothesline goes outside. A maiden tends to be what us British people tend to use in our very, very long winter months. And months where it is not warm enough to dry things outside. And things just tend to take a good a day or two to dry. We do have a dehumidifier, which can help with sort of the drying time, and things can dry quicker with that. But yeah, it is like a clothes airer that concertinas up, and you can stack your clothes on it to dry. You can normally get a load or two, depends how much I spread it out. I do prefer, if I spread out one load on one maiden, then it will dry in a day. If I put 2 loads on, so when I spread it out, I do like every other row. When I put 2 loads on, it tends to take 2 days. So sometimes the amount of loads I put on depends on how much time I think I'm going to have the following day to sort of clear it, fold it, put ours away. I put mine and hubby's away, the rest the kids put theirs away. Grayla Gran, she says, hi Rebecca, she says NC is North Carolina. I did wonder if I got that one wrong. So yeah, it's North Carolina. It is in the southeast. So their summers are very hot and humid. And she says you learn to live with frizzy hair. See, it's the humidity I don't think I could stand. Yeah, just when it's stuffy, I can't be doing with stuffy. She says she's only 2 hours from the coast. She also said New York City would be down as NYC. See, while a few, US states sort of may stick in my head, or I may know about them, like when you say North Carolina, I would have said, yes, that's a US state, but it's not necessarily what I would have thought. Like, I wouldn't have listed it if you asked me to list as many states as I could. It's that sort of in-between state for me. I don't know all of them at all. But yeah, I do try to pay a little bit of attention to states that, that post is going to, but every now and then I just get distracted because I'm trying to make sure everything's right in an order. So apologies, I got that one wrong. She said she probably should have written it out as North Carolina. She said she sometimes forgets that this group is global. Well, mistakes happen. I've made them. That's for sure. And I will probably remember going forward now because I've made a mistake over it. But yeah, sometimes it is hard to forget that, I do it with sayings all the time. I'll say something and all of a sudden everybody's like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And I'm like, that's not known abroad. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You've not taken offence to me getting it wrong, so we'll just carry on trying our best and see how far we get. But yeah, as long as I don't cause offence to anybody by not, remembering or realising the right shortening of states, or I don't say a phrase that is offensive somewhere else, because that's the last thing that I want to do, is offend anybody else's sort of culture, should we say, culture or place where they live, country where they live. I think there is plenty of room in this world for all of us, albeit the UK is a bit more cramped than some other countries, but you know, we just live the way we live. We're used to living with not as much space, so it's not as big a deal for us until you try and go out for a day trip to the beach. Wendy, she says she uses Quick Wash most of the time, as it is only 25 minutes. She said she only needs the extra spin if it's something like a bath mat. She said it's also only herself and her husband since her daughter got married. Or since their daughter is married. She said that their washer is also a front loader, which ours is. It's very, very rare to find a top loader in the UK. There is probably some that are available to buy, but it's very, very rare. She says that saves on water too. She says she likes to hang out clothes at her place in the States because the clothes smell nice and fresh. I am with you on that one. I absolutely love it when it's a really nice washing day. So warm, but not like 30 degrees cooking. You know, like your clothes turn to crispy after a while of being out. When it's a nice breezy day, but warm, like, you know, don't have to wear a cardigan warm, but like a nice breezy day, they are always the days I will prioritise bedding, especially if I can strip my bed, wash my bedding and actually put the same bedding back on. Oh, there is something about getting in bed when your sheets have been freshly dried on the lawn. It is, on the line, it is amazing. Right, I don't have any other coloured symbols, so while I do have sort of the top of the umbrella and lots of bits, none of them are coloured. So I'm going to see how far I get with sort of my next tray as to whether I need to pull in a second one. But this is the one with sort of arrows, letters, numbers, triangles and diamonds by the looks of it. So we're going to start with the number 2, and I'm going to see if I can get them all out of this tray before I move on to another one, or to the final one, but no doubt I'll miss something along the way. She says she diamond paints as she listens to my different videos. She said she hopes it warms up and you get more sunshine more often over there. Would be nice. Would be nice. Oh, that's got a bump on the end. She says she hopes I stay well in all parts of my life and family. Oh, thank you. Yes, we are all good over here. And we are very much looking forward to the nicer weather that is hopefully coming our way. Though when the postie picked up the post when the postie was picking up our post last night, he said, I don't like coming to your house anymore. It's always raining when I come to pick it up. And he's not wrong. There has been so many days that it has been absolute downpour just at the time that that postie picks up the post, and about the time that about the time that hubby comes home. He sort of picks up the post shortly before hubby comes home. So sorry. I'm back. Hubby was texting me and I was getting distracted, so it was like, pause the video. So then I spoke to hubby, washer finished its spin, got a load out, put another load in, and I'm back. This is going to be the content of my videos, but hey, it's all good. It's a different way of working. Doesn't mean it's a wrong way of working. It's just going to take me a while to get used to the flow of things the same way I was used to the weekend flow of things. Grey Legrand, she says, hi Rebecca. She says her washing machine is well over 20 years old. It's a top loader, she said, so it doesn't have any fancy cycles. She has an old dryer as well. She said she doesn't dry on the line because she figures the birds would poop on things. She says also in the southeastern US, she says we have high humidity. Yeah, so the high humidity I can get. In relation to birds, I've not had a bird poop on anything so far. Watch it happen today. But I've never had that in the time I'm drying on the line. But the humidity, yeah, I reckon. I don't know what washing would be like after drying on the line with high humidity. So hopefully, yeah, I get why you're not basically. And it is an individual thing, but I do love the smell of washing once it's been dried on the line. I think it is awesome. It always smells so fresh, which is always the look I feel like I'm chasing in the winter with drying in the house. You know, maybe trying different fabric softeners and stuff, which doesn't always work well because Megan has sensitive skin, so I've ended up back on the basics. So if I can get the nice smell from it being dried on the line, then I will do. I think I tipped out a few too many of that one for this row. Okay, do I have the chevron on here? I do. I think it's going to get harder only looking for symbols on one case when I get up to all this bittiness over here. So I'm ignoring it for the moment and I'm going for the ones that I know I have in the in-depth colours, in more colours, before touching the other stuff. I can hear Luna playing in the background. We just had a bit of a game of ball while I was putting the washing out, which a lot of it involves her running around with it and then realising that she has to give it to me to be able for me to launch it again. So she's probably now covering herself with a blanket, which she likes to do. Anika says, hello, all you lovely people out there. Hello, Anika. She says, for Carrie with the migraines, she says, have you tried acupuncture? She said she used to get migraines up to 3 times a week, 24 to 72 hour ones. And she started when she was about 17 and slowly got worse by the year. She said at 36, she got treated with acupuncture for about 3 months. She says, and after that, she had migraines about 2 to 3 times a year. That's an amazing difference. She says, but after the menopause, she says, they are gone. She says, finally. Just a little suggestion. I love suggestions like this. Things like this, they don't work for everyone, but it's so nice to have suggestions of things, especially that have worked for other people, to have those suggestions out there, whether it, you know, be for those that have specifically said that they suffer with migraines, or for those that have been silently suffering and keeping it to themselves. It's nice to know things that you can potentially try. And not everything works for everybody. But even if, you know, one person finds that one suggestion works for them, it just makes it oh so worth it. Especially with things like migraines, because they just don't go away quick, do they? It's not like a stomach bug, you know, and you throw up and you feel better. It's not like that. It's just ongoing, and you never know when it's going to hit. Apart from the fact it probably always hits at the most inconvenient times ever. So hopefully that helps you. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes that I am well. I am, thank you. She says she thoroughly enjoyed today's WIP and chatter. She says she's loving the progress on the diamond painting. She says she tries to do at least 2 sections of her current project, and it's working up quite nicely. She said it's the Dreamer Designs Mutiny. She says all the diamonds are lovely. She said bar the 310. 310 is always the worst. She says where she's never seen so much trash in one colour. She said otherwise it's a lovely painting to do. She says in regards to washing, she usually uses the express wash, and it takes 35 minutes. Sorry, I'm half looking to see if the tick symbol's here, but it's not. So that must be in my other one. Yeah, it's in my keyboard symbols in my other one. So we'll go on to the, what I call the little degree symbol. She says, and then she has to hang it on her radiators as hubby and herself live in a 4th floor flat. Yeah, see, I potentially could go round the house and put them on radiators, but I would only be able to get away with 1 load. Yes, it would dry quicker, but I feel like it's a bit more maintenance for me. I get when it's all you've got, and then it, you know, that sort of becomes the default for that reason, because it's the only thing you can do. But yeah, washing it's just the bane of our life in winter. It just really, really is. Then again, it sounds like it might be the bane of your life in summer as well if you live in a 4th floor flat. So I can imagine you just have to get yourself a routine that you can stick to all year round, because it just doesn't change. Right, I'm trying to find symbols now. I'm hitting all these bitty symbols because I think a lot of these other ones that I've got a lot of. Okay, my glue dot's extra sticky. Yeah, all these bigger chunks of symbols are in my other case, and this glue dot is being super sticky. Trying to pick it up on just the edge of the diamond so that it doesn't have as much resistance. But this is where I reckon I'm going to end up missing ones, because even looking at it now, it's like there is actually so many more in here than I necessarily thought there was. Kaz, she also says, it's me again. She says she had a thought. She said, would you consider a glittery black tray? Mega size preferably, she says, as a limited edition tray. And see, look, they have Mr. Number 7 again. And black tweezer set, like the tweezer set in the April launch. Glitter is something we may look at again. We need to sort of try and find a different manufacturer of the filament for it, ideally. Glitter filament can be extremely hard on the 3D printer. So due to the amount of them that we print, it can wear down a few things within the printer quite easily. So we do sort of need to watch out for that. And we're still trying to find sort of the perfect one. In relation to the tweezers, it is very limited, the ones that are available. We just have the turquoise ones from our current supplier, though we do have a few other suppliers that we use for accessories similar to that. So when we are due to order from those suppliers again, it is something that we will look into, because the turquoise sets of tweezers, I feel, are a nice premium set of tweezers. They're really, really nice. So I'd love to have it available in maybe more types and more different colour options. But yeah, we'll need to get sort of samples and check they're just as nice and things before we offer more. But black and white isn't something I've seen, but it doesn't mean they don't do it. As I say, we will be reaching out to sort of more of our suppliers as we go along over things that we'd potentially like to stock, and seeing if they have colourways that are available. But yeah, rest assured, we are always constantly looking at, you know, other things that we could stock or improvements for things that we do stock. For example, the toolkit bundles are getting quite low at the moment. I think there's only a couple of colourways available for those at the moment. But I am thinking of sort of revamping the toolkit bundles and offering different ones at different sort of times, bringing them in as and when. But it can take quite a bit to sort of get that initial assembly of items and pricing of items and all that jazz that goes with it. So it is on my list of many things to sort of keep an eye on bringing more. The advent calendar itself is very nearly sort of wrapped up. Not wrapped up as in finished, packed and all the rest of it, by no means, but it is very nearly getting to the point where the bulk of the preparation of singular items is finished. I just have one more item to do, which would have been done if I didn't change to doing YouTube in the week. So I'm still sort of getting that workflow right, should we say? Is that the way? Yeah, that's just still trying to get the sort of workflow right between the two different things and combining them into a week. And then hopefully I'll be able to implement some of the other things. But it's amazing how quick a day goes. It really is amazing how fast a day goes. And then, you know, by the time I get a chance to go, okay, what am I doing? I turn around and shop stock's like depleted across the board. And I end up needing to spend the time to sort of refill and restock and make sure that things keep flowing. So, yeah, I do keep all your ideas and suggestions. Some of them may take a bit longer to potentially implement than others. Some things we can't, and if I know it's something that we can't do, I will say straight off. Or if it's something I don't think we'll be able to do, like the same tweezers but in black and white, or black primarily, that's not something that I'm aware of at the moment. If that ever changes, then it rattles around in my head, ready for a potential change. Right, have I got any more? See, I don't think I have any more of the symbols I need in this pot, in this tray, but I could be wrong because there are so many small symbols. But I'm going to switch to this one rather than spend a lot more time trying to figure it out. We're going to switch over and see if I've managed to manage the success in getting all the symbols out of that one tray first. Take your guesses now. Kim, she says her washer only takes about an hour to do a load. She says she doesn't have a front load washer, just a top loading one. She says so perhaps front loaders take longer. Yeah, they never used to. I think it's something to do with some sort of eco mode. Whether the longer one, I think it's more a matter of the longer one uses less water. Or, you know, I'm guessing it must be the same amount of electric or less. Otherwise, you're just fighting one battle with another. But a lot of the times, I think the eco type modes, whether they heat it up slower or whether they use less water, and therefore the cycle needs to be longer. I'm not exactly sure. I'm definitely not a guru in washing machines, but they used to be a lot quicker, whereas now it seems as though, you know, you're limited as to what quick wash cycles you have. But if you're anything like me, and, you know, it's only when I've sort of actually looked at the weather app today and gone, oh, I could actually get some dry. If I put on a load that had a 3-hour cycle, then, you know, the weather would be gone. It'd be dark. Well, not quite dark, but, you know, exaggeration. But the weather would be gone by the time I was able to actually do something about it. So, yeah, quick wash is my friend. And I don't particularly think it's quick. I think it's just the same time as my old washing machine. She says, in comparison to mine, she says hubby and herself are walking around in dirty clothes. Well, I do, to be fair, I don't think it's a matter of compared to. I really think it is something to do with the eco side of things that's made them have washing machines that take longer. And I personally don't have any problems with my sort of quick wash. I just think the quick wash takes out whatever eco part of it is, and washes them just as well. So, Kim, she says she doesn't diamond paint while listening and watching my WIP and Waffles. Oh, that's got bits on it as well. Don't want that one either. Just had extra little bits of plastic on the side, on the bottom, like it squoze out from the mould. She says she has to see if I miss a symbol. Love it, Kim. Well, you will take your vote now on whether you think I have missed a symbol, maybe from my first tray, or maybe you've even seen a symbol that I've missed that I've already done. Did you spot the number 7 when I missed that one? That is the question. Time will tell. Right, tick mark. It is in here. Okay, I'm not losing it on these big colours. If I'm going to lose it, it will be on all these small colours over there. Jerry, she says here in North Carolina, she says our weather has been iffy as well. She says when she talks to her sister on her drive home from work, because she lives in Oregon, we always comment that Mother Nature is bipolar, and she needs to go back on her meds. That sounds rather true. That does. She definitely, I don't quite know what she is doing at the moment, but yeah, things are definitely a little bit all over the place. She says that it was 2 weekends in a row. She says that it snowed on a Saturday and rained on a Sunday and melted all the snow that they'd gotten the day before. She says she thinks Mother Nature has lost her mind. That, or she's just having a great deal of fun tormenting everybody. But she's tormenting the poor flowers and things as well. And that's a shame. Jerry, she says, me again. She says, you talked about reading the J.D. Robb In Death series. Yes, I am currently on a full reread or re-listen to the J.D. Robb series. And I think I've actually hit a part in the list that I haven't maybe reread as many times as some of the others, because there's a couple of times that I've started right from the beginning, so of course the beginning ones are rather ingrained, but then there is a couple of times that I've only gone sort of part way down the list and done more of a close-up re-listen, and I think the section I'm on now is sort of the bit I've missed out in the middle. I feel like it takes me a bit longer to remember who'd done it in the ones I'm listening to at the minute. She says she remembers that she started reading them a while ago. She went back and started reading. She hasn't read in 3 years, she says, and she went back again and started with the In Death series. She says she started reading them on the 22nd of March. She says she had remembered some parts of the book, but not a lot of them. She said she had them on her Amazon wish list for so long after reading the first 3. She says, thank you for pushing me to start reading again. Oh, awesome. It's such a good series. It is not very often that I will particularly reread books. I'm very much more of a, okay, give me the next thing to read, to listen to. But for some reason, I can reread or re-listen to the J.D. Robb series quite often. And definitely a lot more than I can any other sort of set of books. I think it's because I know I enjoyed the read so much the first time that I get so much out of sort of a reread, a re-listen, because I still enjoy it. I enjoy more the little bits between the characters. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the storyline, but it's the little bits between the characters that I do get a lot out of in these books. And you sort of, they're also in effect the easier part to forget about a book. You know, which book you heard a certain line in, or a certain bit of banter between a couple of people. So I get to sort of enjoy the whole concept around that bit of banter all over again with a re-listen. So yeah, hubby often catches me chuckling every now and then, and he'll be like, is the book funny? It's like, yep it is. Very much so. Okay, I think I need to do a bit of dipping into the lid of the pot for a few of these. I will let you know if I ever am actually dipping into my other tray. Sort of what line do I follow? No, I think I am going to do this one. Where are you? Hiding here. Lisa says she's catching up on this WIP and Waffle on a Friday afternoon. She says thank you for sorting out the issue with her order. She received it on Tuesday. Perfect. I can't remember what the issue was though. I'm glad it's sorted though. Okay, I found my first symbol that I missed from my other one. I knew it was likely to happen. As soon as I've just seen it with 2 triangles, it's like I've already done triangles. Okay, 1 down that was missed. I'm more than happy for that to be the only one. So let's see how we go. Right, this is my little dot. That one is not actually the same. That one is actually the one next to it. See if I can get that one straight from the bottom of the pot. Oh, hang on. No, it's not that one. I think maybe I found a symbol from the other tray that I've fully missed. So these two is this little dot. Oh no, I haven't missed it. It's actually in this one. Two symbols that are very, very similar to each other, and not many of that colour that you need to use at all. Lady Dax, she says, firstly, she says she is pleased to say that being back on her old inhalers has made her feel much better. She said, secondly, having another fur baby added to their family has also cheered her up no end. Perfect news. She says, we now have Geordie as well as Spock, Seven and Seska. Any Star Trek fan will recognise their names. I recognise their names because hubby has Star Trek on in the background. She says she's posted pictures in the group. She says she can't believe that his original owner said that they don't want him back. And when their vets checked his chip and called them, she says, well, he is a beautiful boy. She says, so their loss, the original owner's loss, is their gain. Well, I'm just glad he has found a happy home, because it wouldn't be here. I'm allergic to cats. So, yeah, I'm glad he's found a home, and he's got some playmates too. So, all is well with the world. Right. Just trying to fill in all the sort of loose bits to this side before I went in with the white. Trying to do this in some sort of order. Carrie, she says, wow, she says the painting is looking amazing. It is, it's coming along in leaps and bounds. I love it. She says, another great waffle. She said, a lot going on again. She says, still in her boot for another 2 weeks. She says, and then they will decide if she needs surgery in June or not. She's just got more injections in her back. She said, so fingers crossed, these ones finally help. And she ended up with a bad sinus infection, which wreaked havoc on her migraine. She says, thank goodness for antibiotics. You properly sound like you've been through the mill and back, Carrie. She says she's just starting another 30 by 40 for her sister-in-law's birthday. She says she's decided to do another small one and then try to get back into her 51 by 76 from Diamond Art Club called Star Maker. She says, thank you again for your great videos and support. She says, not only for me, but all us zesties. She says, have a wonderful week. Well, I hope you have an amazing week too. Let's go for a good health week, Carrie. That would be really nice for you to have a, you know, apart from the boot, which I get can't come off yet, but apart from the boot, I hope you have an amazing health week. Jerry, she says, me once again. She says she had to pause from watching and pick it back up today. Sorry, I'm just, my glue dot is still rather sticky, but I need to change my colours. We have a switch. I still only have the one that I've had to pull from the other case, so I'm on a winner so far. She said she sent a picture of her current WIP to her sisters. She says because they like to share their current WIPs with each other. And one of them commented on her cover paper. She said she's using the Daisy cover paper, which is this one. She says she believes that she has mentioned that it was their grandmother's name. Yes, I do remember you saying that. She says one of her sisters commented that she really liked her cover paper and that she needed that to use to cover it. She says she told her my website and explained that she wouldn't get it like super quick. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Don't tell me this one's in the other one. It is. These 2 dots. Okay, that's 2 numbers that were in my other tray. And there's a flipping lot of this one as well. Should have known better. Anyway, she said, yeah, she told you your website and she did explain that it is in the UK. So therefore it won't arrive super quick as it was from the UK. She said she really didn't want her to order it. She says she responded back that she wasn't able to purchase it. She said she didn't tell her that she'd ordered the cover paper for her twice. So she'll be surprised on Thursday when both of her sisters go to hers to help her prepare for Easter Sunday. She says she's already told the other sister. This was posted 3 days ago. Easter Sunday? Haven't we had Easter? I'm getting confused. I'm guessing it's something, unless it's a different Easter. Anyway, she's already told the other sister that she ordered cover paper for her, but didn't tell her about the trays. She says they always come to her house to help her prepare for Easter because it is a big preparation. So ordering them quality trays and cover paper, she said, is cheap compared to what they help her with. She says she will say thank you for her sisters as she knows that they will love the tray and cover paper. Oh, awesome news. I like the fact of putting her off so that she doesn't order it herself because you've already ordered it. So yeah, do let us know how they react and if they enjoy. Well, I'm guessing they will because they've already commented on wanting what you've got. So it will be amazing if they, you know, yeah, it's always a nice surprise. It's always nice to get somebody something that you think they'll like and then actually have comments before they get it confirming your choice. So yeah, it'd be lovely to hear what their response is. Kenzie, she says when Luna barks, she says her 3 dogs, Emmy, Murphy and Maggie, all perk up and say hello back to her, she said, in their native tongue. Sorry for setting your dogs off. She says, now if they could just figure out where their invisible friend is hiding, because they do go looking around for her. Bless them. She says she thought that might give her a giggle. She says she's diamond painting. She always diamond paints along with me, she says, but she has had to consciously stop herself from trying to keep pace. Otherwise, she says it would look like she's sneezed her drills onto her canvas. She says, may she ask how long I've been diamond painting for and how did I discover it? She says, do you still have your very first piece? She said she would be so interested to see it. And she says, fingers crossed that I have more sunshine than rain this week. I'll take your fingers crossed. Keep them crossed because it's showing that we've got a few good signs of nice weather for a little bit anyway. I started diamond painting, what year was it now? It's about 6 years ago. Maybe even more because I haven't done the math for a while. So I'd say at least 6 years ago. I am pretty sure I've still got my monkey. I'm pretty sure he's in my display book. It was a partial. It was a monkey with headphones on. You've probably seen the picture everywhere. But it was very limiting. as to what you could get hold of like 6 years ago, especially quick, because I wanted a quick one to give it a go. So yeah, it's been 6 years. I sort of discovered it. I saw the odd advert around on Facebook. I was mainly scrapbooking then, and a scrapbooker I followed picked up a painting, and it made me sort of go and get one on Amazon to try. And slowly but surely it's taken over my life, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Danielle, she says she is new to commenting on my videos, but she's been watching my videos for a while she's been working on her own diamond painting. She's currently working on Mr. Fox that she bought off Amazon. She said it's a bit different to the one that I worked on, but she's loving how it's turning out. Okay, will you stick not to the glue dot? She says she loves how it's turning out so far. She says she's been diamond painting for a while now, and she loves doing them in her free time. She also bought some trays and pens and other diamond art accessories off me. She says that she loves them. Oh, fantastic. So glad I can help spread a bit more enjoyment to an already very enjoyable craft, is what it is. Geraldine, she says she loves my videos. She says she is on her third painting, and this one is a 30 by 40. She says the spaces seem closer together, and she runs into trying to squeeze them to fit. She said her other two didn't run into this problem. That can depend on the quality and sort of the manufacturer of the painting. So unfortunately it can happen with some. If you do have a lot of black in it, that can sometimes definitely feel like you're squeezing them in a little bit more. Just have a look at your diamonds themselves. Often there is a couple of different shapes of diamonds. So the ones with more of a flat top and then angled sides, and there's ones that are a little bit more domey, like they've got a lot more cuts in them. Have a look at your diamonds, and if they're like that, try and make sure that you are spreading out which ones of them you use. Don't just go for the ones with more cuts on them, even though they do look prettier, because sometimes they're slightly different sizes, and it's actually better to have a mixture because then the light catches the angles off them better. So that's all I can suggest on that front. Right, that is it for today. There is still a couple of comments that will carry over until next week, but they were quite a bit longer, so I'm not going to rush comments. I'm expecting next week's going to take a little bit longer because we've definitely got a little bit more confetti in there. So I am sure we will get to all the comments, but thank you so much for joining me for today's WIP and Waffle, and I will speak to you all again soon.